Welcome to the first podcast, right, from Umbrella Centre?
Yes, our podcast is called Under the Umbrella, and my name is Anna.
I'm Jaxx.
So welcome, guys. It's our very first podcast, and basically what we're going to do is really tell you and give you an insight about who we are and what we do. The Canterbury Umbrella, for those of you who do not know, has been here in existence for the last 33 years. It started in 1984, and the objectives behind the Canterbury Umbrella was to really have a safe haven for people to go to. Hence the name Umbrella. And as we all know, what umbrella means is an object or something that we use to kind of shield ourselves from the rain. So
it's like an umbrella metaphor almost.
Absolutely.
You know?
So what would you think about that, like under the umbrella?
Yeah, because you don't want to stand under it whenever there's rain clouds and there's lightning, because then you're just burst into flames.
Exactly.
But apart from that, umbrella, I like that.
Yeah,
exactly. Because it's short and snappy. And it keeps you dry.
Exactly. And the rain could be anything. It could be if you're feeling a bit down, that could be the rain that you're going through. It could be anything that you're
that's
feeling.
Really beautiful. Do you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you look up rain, it covers a multitude of so many things. Again, for those of you who don't know, we're a charity and we support people with mental health. We're based in Canterbury, for those of you. Canterbury is in Kent, in the United Kingdom. We're hoping that we're going to cover a lot of areas in the whole world, and hopefully you all hear all about us. I'm Anna, and as I introduced earlier, and this is Jaxx, my co-host. So welcome to our very first podcast.
Well, hey.
So, Jaxx, are we gonna talk about the different activities that happen here at the centre? Okay,
well, the activities that we have here is on a Monday. Well, every morning you have that yoga, don't you?
Yes, we do.
So what time does that run from?
That usually runs from 10 to 12 o'clock. For those of you who really like to relax and stretch yourselves, I personally
Is it not a good way to get fit, apparently?
I can't do it, Jaxx.
You can't do it, neither could I.
There is no way.
My jeans are too tight, I can barely grab stuff on the floor.
I'll fall asleep. Basically, if you put me on a yoga mat, I am fast asleep, snoring
like
away.
A cat.
Yeah, exactly. But, on the serious side, we've got loads of people, our members, who actually use yoga as a coping strategy. A coping strategy to help them with their mental health. And, I've spoken to so many different members. I say, what are the benefits of yoga? And they say it helps with their breathing techniques. It helps with them, helping them out to relax. For those people who are agoraphobic.
It's almost what's the name that they give that? Mindfulness, is that what it's almost about? Mindfulness?
Absolutely, it's being still and in that moment, and trying to relax.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt.
No, sorry.
You were going on about all the different activities.
So on a Tuesday, which is today, isn't it? Today's Tuesday. Our first podcast on a Tuesday. We have art group. Yeah. Run by
Coral.
I thought it was Ross that did the art group, isn't it?
You mean the art group?
Yeah.
Look at me. What am I like?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the seated exercise.
What's this? On Tuesdays as well. Yeah, what's that?
That's really an exercise that you do when you're seated down. But trust me, it is strenuous. I know it's quite deceiving when you think about it, because I've tried it once and the following morning,
really,
my muscles were aching.
Whereabouts in your core, or which muscles?
Yeah, your cores, your legs, and that's a
seated exercise.
Yes,
that's genius.
It is. Yeah. But it's really it's designed to help people who are physically not more confident with, with their physically, and also those who are really starting and maybe they're going through weight problems or their weight journey, they're starting their weight journey, and it's a nice easy way to get into an exercise kind of regime.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So going back to the art group.
So it's run by Ross, isn't it?
It's run by Diana with the help of Ross. Yes.
Okay, there we are. Yeah. And that's every Tuesday.
That's every Tuesday.
What have we got on a Wednesday? My mind's gone blank.
I know it's the first one, isn't it? So we're allowed to make mistakes.
Of course we are, yeah. We're human beings, we're not androids, like a Microsoft phone or like an Apple.
We're exactly being programmed. Well, Wednesday. So Wednesday, we have the music group.
Oh yeah, that's right, and it's run by what's his name?
Jules,
that's the one.
Yeah. And do you want to talk about that because it's
right.
That's your
so the music group it's almost like anyone brings their own instruments.
Yeah.
And we just try to like learn how to play covers of songs.
Yes.
So for people that are interested in playing guitar or playing drums or even singing, and it's a good way just to get to know people.
Yes.
It's like an icebreaker getting to know someone over music.
Yes.
You know, because I remember whenever I was at university, and there was a chap who he wasn't best at speaking English, but he could speak broken English.
Yeah.
And as soon as he jumped behind a guitar and I was on the drums, it's like we spoke a new language.
Yeah.
Which I think that's fantastic. Like, music is a language in itself.
Yes.
So it's a good icebreaker to get to know people. And on a Wednesday is fun. It's really good.
Totally agree. Talking about music, because you love music.
Oh, I do, yeah.
And you've also created a new group that is still in its infancy.
Yeah, it is.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So every Friday we have a umbrella band called Breaking Stigma. It's almost like people who want to tell their stories through poetry or vocals or lyrics.
Yeah.
And if they like to play instruments as well, they're more than free to come down.
Yeah.
So I come here with my recording equipment, my guitar.
Yeah.
And we just try to write music, like brand new music.
Yeah.
Something that's never been done before.
Yeah.
And I knew a guy, Luke, who came to the Umbrella last week for the first time.
Yeah.
And he really liked it, and I got to know him over just recording music, etc.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to get to know someone
and
gain those skills in recording music as well.
Yeah. Do you think music really helps, especially if you're going through a mental crisis
I think
or something?
Music, I mean, in terms of like my condition, which would be, psychosis or schizophrenia mixed with bipolar.
Yes.
It really helps with like keeping my mood in like almost like a balance, like an equilibrium.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm manic or I'm depressed, I still find that I can play the music.
Yes.
And it is so powerful because it feels like it actually heals you.
Yes.
So even whenever you're feeling really low, that's whenever if you push yourself a bit more, put yourself out your comfort zone, and start writing a song, it brings your mood up. It helps with depression big time.
Because really, when you think about music, so some people journal. Do you know what I mean? When they're going through stuff,
writing
they
their thoughts down.
But your outlet is through music.
That's it. Yeah.
Which is absolutely amazing.
I think everyone needs like some form of outlet.
Yes.
Be that music or not, or something creative.
Yes.
Which is always good for the mind.
Yeah.
It keeps the mind active.
Exactly. Yeah, and we also have our lovely cooking group as well. That's also a very great group.
I love the cooking group.
Yes.
It's I'm so bad with names now. Who's the chef? Like
Robert.
Robert is a legend.
Yes.
His food is amazing.
Yes.
Seriously, come to Umbrella on a Thursday. You get some of the best food ever.
Yes, exactly.
Like proper home cooked meals.
Yes. And the objective behind the cooking group is it was really to have a group where people who had no cooking skills and wanted to learn new cooking skills, people who had no budgeting skills at all, money management skills, to learn how to budget as well, by using very small funds.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I can say the food that is produced those groups
it's fantastic.
Is unbelievable. And at the end of that, you all sit down together and have a chat.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Even during it reminds me of like an episode of Can't Cook, Won't Cook.
Yeah, really.
Like whenever I'm sitting down, like everyone's like talking, having their own conversations, making the food, making some jokes, and I'm like, this should be televised, this should be on TV. That's a good idea. We should film an episode of that.
We should.
Make our own Can't Cook, Umbrella Won't Cook.
Absolutely.
That'll be insane.
Why not?
See, little ideas come to us as soon as this microphone's here. We're thinking like legends.
We are.
I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also, we're going to talk about, we have an amazing cafe downstairs.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got our chef, Rob, who produces homemade food from scratch.
Yep.
Nothing is processed. Everything is cooked from scratch. And, at affordable prices.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, again, if you're in Canterbury or you live in Canterbury, please come to the Umbrella Cafe as well.
Open from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m.
Exactly.
So you can get yourself a breakfast before taking the train to London at some point.
Only a $5.
Only a $5.
You can't get it cheap anyway.
You can't beat that. No,
absolutely you can't beat that.
Don't go to Wetherspoons. Come to Umbrella.
Yes,
there you are.
Absolutely. So, as it's our first podcast, we have got a special guest today. Obviously, as the weeks go on, we'll be introducing different guests to you. And obviously, I'm talking a bit more about the centre. And our guest today is Robin. Robin is the founder of a Millennium Breaking Barriers. Welcome, Robin.
Hi.
That's me clapping, by the way. Speech.
Yeah. So, Robin, do you want to tell us a little about your introduction to the centre and the birth of the Millennium Breaking Barriers?
So, I first came to the Umbrella Centre when I was in my second year of university and was really keen to sort of set up some kind of community group that mixed students from the local area with just the general public from Canterbury, because I felt that there was quite a big divide between students and the local community. So we started up a group called Breaking Barriers, and in that group students and members here at the Umbrella Centre were able to communicate about different topics, particularly surrounding sort of mental health stigma, and we found that everyone just got on so well. People who you wouldn't find normally interacting in everyday life were having these amazing conversations about mental health and really sort of reducing those kind of negative thoughts that people automatically associate with mental health. And then from that, that's been sort of running for a few years, we developed a group specifically for students, because we recognised in our Breaking Barriers group that actually a lot of the students were perhaps suffering with certain mental health issues that weren't being addressed, and we created a group called Millennials Breaking Barriers that allowed them the space to discuss different topics around mental health, such as sort of eating disorders, hearing voices, and so many more. And it gave them a safe haven away from university to discuss these kind of topics, and it's been going sort of strong for the past 2 or 3 years now, and students really sort of rely on this service to feel supported, especially when they're away from home at university.
So if I'm a student, let's say, of course I've gone past those days, but if I'm a student and I'm like, you are in the process now where people are probably looking for their university places and looking at probably coming to Kent Uni, the university you went to, and how would we get in touch? What's the process for them to be able to get that information to come to the Millennium Breaking Barriers?
So there's several ways really that you can do it. We are a registered student group with the Kent Union, so we'll be at freshers fairs and things like that, and you'll see us there, and then we'll have an event sort of early on in the academic year. We also have a Facebook page, Millennials Breaking Barriers, so if you give that a follow, we are always updating when we've got an event coming up, so you will see what topics we're going to be covering and specifically when the event is. We tend to meet on a Wednesday fortnightly at about 4 p.m. at the Umbrella Centre. But again, the Umbrella Centre, like we said earlier, is open from 8 till 4 p.m. every single day, every weekday. So if students want to pop in to have a chat, they can pop in at any point during those opening hours and find out more about the centre and the student group as well.
Okay. So, obviously, we'll put all the details on our YouTube.
Yeah, of course.
So that you can actually follow us and get to know what's what. So, is there anything else, Jaxx? This has been our first
one
rodeo.
There we are. That's it. I was going to ask Robin, what would you recommend for someone who's on the verge as a student who's thinking, should I come to a meeting like this? In what ways do you think it's going to benefit them coming to this group?
Yeah, well, I think that's a really good point, because we're really sort of straight up from the start that you do not have to be suffering with mental health or have previously suffered with mental health to come to our group. We tend to focus on topics that are around mental health, but actually it's a great opportunity. For example, if you've got family members back home who have suffered with mental health, or you've got housemates, who suffer with mental health. You just want to learn a bit more about mental health and try and understand.
It's very educational the way it goes about it.
And you can find out other people's opinions and, educate yourself on it. So you really don't have to be suffering at all. That's actually sort of the primary reason. You don't have to come and disclose any of your own mental health. It's purely we're interested in mental health. We want to break the stigma and come so we can all talk openly about it, because at a lot of places talking openly about mental health is a major challenge. So anybody come along, there's no sort of stigma as well.
Okay.
And also, as well as the Millennials Breaking Barriers, we host a student group up at the University of Kent on a Monday evening. So that's fortnightly at 6 p.m. That's another sort of support network for students if they can't make the Wednesday meetings and things like that, or if they want to come to both, if they feel like they need extra support, want to find out some interesting things about mental health and coping strategies for things like stress.
Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah.
And as a student, just to ask you one more question, how do you think people that are students deal with mental health issues that in society today? Do you feel that they're more open than let's say someone in their middle aged, or how do you feel about that? Do you think that it's more open? People are speaking about it more now?
I would say that they're more open now, because that's been my experience of it, because I'm quite an open person, obviously participating in the Millennials Breaking Barriers and student support groups. However, I think there's definitely still a stigma there, especially with males. I think it is breaking down, but I think a lot of people are still fearful of sort of allowing themselves to feel things and to be vulnerable, because that's a huge thing. And actually, their parents are still the ones who hold these stigmas. So when you come to university, you kind of get that perspective that, okay, I can be open and honest, and it's a great sort of place to explore your mental well-being, whether you suffer with mental health or not, because you have that freedom at university that you might not have at home. You meet so many other people who are hopefully more open-minded than your background experience might be.
See, you said yourself, men seem to not really want to talk about mental health a lot, because do you know what, two words I hate in the English language is man up. I absolutely despise that, because it's who do you want to be? You're trying to tell someone to grow up or to act more stronger. Being a man, do you know what, sometimes you're more stronger whenever you cry, whenever you feel weak.
Absolutely.
And that's whenever you find real community, is whenever you feel like you're not judged for having emotions. That whole stigma of man up, I find it disgusting.
And I think that's something we really champion here at the centre, is creating those platforms where people, male or female, old or young, are able to embrace their mental health. And I think if you do embrace it, you're more likely to go and search for look for the right support that you need. At that particular time. As I said, we have an open door policy here. No one's turned away, as you all know. No one's turned away, and the idea of us starting this podcast is that one of the things that we are really, our biggest campaign this year is stamping out stigma. We've got to start somewhere.
Oh, exactly. Do
you know what I mean? And we're doing that on via various platforms, the podcast being one of them.
Exactly. And that's what's always about, is if we keep on doing this every week, if we do this more and more, hopefully there's people not even in Kent, but let's say somewhere else in the world, who think to themselves, all right, so if this centre is doing this, I wonder if there's one near me that I could go to.
Absolutely.
And that's the whole thing. And I think, is it 1 in 4 people suffer from mental health?
I
would actually say it's 4 in 4. I would say everyone at some point in their life will go through mental health problems themselves. Even it might not be as exaggerated as having schizophrenia, but the feeling depressed, I think that's a real issue in today's society, is
And it's 2019. Come on, let's start this conversation.
Yeah.
One of the objectives why we sat down and discussed it, let's start a podcast, is that we wanted to have a platform where people can start this conversation. So guys, all of you that are listening, in the future, hopefully, we're having a ringing service. We're starting small.
Small, yeah.
But
thinking big.
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thinking big, that's it,
thinking big. That hopefully in the future we can ring in and you can ask your questions. If we can't answer, but we'll try our best. Let's start this conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's not be
ashamed. Break it down. Don't be ashamed. Why would we be ashamed?
Absolutely.
I can easily say to Liz, like, I've got schizoaffective disorder, and at some point, we can bring in guests and speak to them about how do they cope with their conditions.
Yes.
Because it's almost like a platform of, like, recovery.
Yeah.
Someone else listening to this being like, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
There's someone out there that feels the same as me, has the same disorder as me.
Yeah,
being diagnosed for the first time, you feel alone. You feel like it's me against the world, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like what you said with the name Umbrella.
Yes.
Is it protects and covers you.
Absolutely.
And it's not just one person under that umbrella.
No.
There's about bloody 50 or 100 that come to Umbrella Centre in Canterbury. So get your asses down here. Sorry to say ass. I'm in donkey. Get your donkey down here. That's what it's about.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to say thank you very much for Robin, our first guest.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you very much. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Anna and this is Jaxx. We are from the Canterbury Umbrella Centre. Please check us out on www.canterburyumbrella.co.uk. Check us on our Facebook and our Instagram page. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one.